we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
All right. Yes, like, subscribe, and share. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact. I know a couple of things is happening today. As you can see, it's a wonderful day, and I can assure you that this particular episode is going to blow your mind, because every time we've had issues, challenges, setbacks, technicalities, right, with any episode, we know that's a sign that something is about to go down. And already we're super excited about this episode. So please, if you know anyone that should be here today, please call them that we are live. We're sorry we started a bit late. We had some technicalities, and we're hoping that the technicalities won't affect the conversation today, but just get ready to have a swell time. Today we're talking about sex, money, and power from the perspective of men, and we've been working throughout. I'm just going to bring on GraCie. GraCie, are you ready for me? We've been
right here
out here all month, talking about every different areas about men, because November is dedicated to men's mental health and just generally, the well-being of men and celebrating men. And that's what we've been doing throughout the month of November on Your Voice, Your Impact. And today being the last Monday of November, we said, you know what? We want to bring it full circle. And we have like a buffet of amazing men in the room tonight. I just don't want to talk too much. Babe, give us your intro and let's just bring this gentleman, gracious gentleman who's been in the studio for a while.
Yeah, we need to bring them in. Hi, everyone. And like EJ said, today is going to be bomba. It's going to be super. So we'll just let them in, and then it's going to be a panel discussion, and we are going to dive deep into, sex, money, and power. So
all right, so I'll just bring in no particular order. I'm just going to add on our guest. I have Randy, all the way from the UAE. Hi, Randy. Thank you for joining us. Hello, John. Thank you for joining us all the way from the US. I have Mo. Thank you for joining us from Nigeria. And then we have Osh from Nigeria. So what I want us to do, when you're not speaking, especially if you're not using a headphone, just mute your mic so that we don't have feedback. And then when you want to speak, you can unmute. So it will help us, curb the feedback. All right. So welcome. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being gracious. I feel like it felt like you guys were part of the show, just being there and saying, EJ, take care, don't worry, take your time. I love what John said in the backseat. It's like, don't worry, this is going to be exactly how it is meant to be. And that was so comforting. Thank you, John, for that word. So just being gracious. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Osh. Thank you, Mo. We appreciate you for just being here. And this just shows me that tonight we're going to have a fantastic conversation. All right. So, Grace, please open the floor because I'm still a bit shaky.
Yeah, it's fine. And like you rightly said, and we got the best of the best, even though I say so myself. And if you can look at the demographic, we got people from different countries. We got people different. We decided to make this inclusive. And today, like I said earlier, we started this month talking about mental health, and then from there we talked about other things. The goal primarily is to focus on men. And as you know, before we got here backstage, John and I we were talking about something. We're going to go deep into that conversation because I'm here, I'm very curious. And I'm going to just throw a question. The first question I'm going to throw at you is, who is a man? Who is a man? What makes a man a man? And that's just how we're going to kickstart this. Let's just go right into it. Who is a man? What makes a man a man? I think it's a good way to start. Anyone can go with this, or I can just start with Mo. I've not heard Mo speak, so let's hear you out.
Why are you starting with me?
Go for it. Go for it.
That is a very dangerous question because there are just some things that don't have a definite definition. But
while we're waiting for Mo to get back on, I think, John, you can go ahead with that question.
Okay, well, what makes a man a man? That's interesting. The reference that I have is my father. My father was a huge impact on me. I saw the way he treated my mother. I saw the way he treated my sister and myself, and I wanted to emulate that. My father was one of the most compassionate men. He still is. He's still with us. He's one of the most understanding, patient. Patience. You want to be a man, you must learn patience. Must learn patience. Empathy. Passion. Not just romantic passion, but passion about the things that you do, who you want to be. These are the things that if you can identify them within yourself, because it's about identity. At the end of the day, it comes down to identity. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be, and who are you now? And that space gap is an acronym. I love acronyms. And that gap is an acronym for gratitude, attitude, and perseverance. Can you be grateful for who you are, what you have right now? This is part of being a man. All right. Because if you're not satisfied with your life and you're complaining about it, I don't know what kind of language I'm allowed to use on this show. If you're complaining about, free reign. If you're bitching about it, damn it, then that's not going to get you where you want to be. Attitude. What attitude do you have? Does everything suck, or is everything starting to work in your favor? Because the truth of the matter is, life is happening for you, not to you. All these challenges that we go through are there to help us become the next best version of us. But it's your attitude. Does it suck? Or is this an opportunity for me to learn something and go a little bit deeper inside myself? Introspection is part of being a man. To me, this is my own personal opinion. Can you go deep within yourself and find those parts of you that you're not satisfied with and find a way to make them better? Are you open to receiving help? Men struggle with this. Men struggle with asking for help. It's a universal thing. Why? Why are we afraid to ask for help? Because we're manly men and we should be able to do it by ourselves? No. You cannot do this by yourself. You have to have role models. You have to have someone who's where you want to be so you can strive to be that next best version of you. Success leaves clues. My father, in my opinion, is a man's man. He's not a tough guy. He's not, up in your face. It's not who he is. But when he speaks, people listen because they respect him, because he respects others first. There's a lot of different aspects to being a man. Yes, there's masculine energy. There's masculine and feminine in everybody. Being able to access the feminine energy inside you can help you become a man too, because it's the softer side. It doesn't have to be hard all the time. Softness is part of that, when to flow. My girlfriend tells me that when we first started dating a little over a year ago, she used to tell me that I didn't know how to flow. I didn't know. Everything was jagged, and she was right. And I'm learning how to flow because I'm listening and I'm asking for help. And I'm not ashamed to say, you know what, I can't do this by myself. I need some help. That a man will ask for help when he needs it. This is just my personal opinion. There's a lot going on.
Absolutely, and we love it. We definitely love it. So it's more ready for us. You can take it. Just tell us who you think a man is, what makes a man a man. Thank you so much, John, for sharing. Mo, please unmute yourself and let us know if you can hear us. If you can hear us, please let us know.
Yes, network has been very funny. So what I was saying is that I believe that a man is someone who takes responsibility for himself and other people. I think at the point where you begin to look after somebody else, you begin to step into the shoes of a man. If you are still all about you, you haven't really started manifesting, that man identity. So for me, I feel is the moment you start taking care of yourself and other people as a male, then you are stepping into the shoes of a man. I think that is pretty much what will just separate the boys from the men. The boys take care of themselves. The men take care of other people. I think, that's what I would say.
Oh, absolutely love it. Well done. Thank you, Randy. Over to you. And then
hi, Grace.
Randy, you can unmute
Thank you.
yourself and tell
Thank
us.
you so much. I hope you can hear me very well. Well, John stole most of what I was about to say, but what I wanted to say really quick is
you can unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Can you hear me properly? You can hear me, right?
I can hear you, Randy.
Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right.
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Perfect. So what I was saying is that aside from what John said, what I believe a man is the closest example of a man I can see, and that's because I'm coming from a Christian background, is Jesus Christ. And I'm not here to preach, but basically what I saw in a man is knowing and seeing the weaknesses of others and still accepting them the way they are. It's not just the unconditional love that we're talking about, but it's the concept of knowing the person in front of you, knowing how all of us are weak, how all of us have our vulnerabilities, but still accepting the others the same way that we're expecting the others to accept us and believe in us. So aside from the responsibility, aside from the compassion, aside from the empathy, aside from taking responsibility or care of someone else, knowing the vulnerability of someone else and accepting them the way they are, because you know that you personally as a man are vulnerable and can show these vulnerabilities and emotions at any time in any way possible, is what defines you as a man. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Over to you, Ash, if you can hear us.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Take it away.
All right, fantastic. First of all, I want to say that I'm so glad to be here. And when I got the topics, and then Grace said there were subtopics, I said, like, excuse me, this is everything. This can be subtopics. This is life. Where do we start? This question you just asked us right now, what it means to be a man. And I mean, I agree with everything that this amazing men have said. I want to say something that's really funny. In Nigeria, we believe that being a man is to be strong all the time. I'm talking January to December. There's a very very popular saying in Nigeria that goes, "Men don't cry." So growing up, I used to always think, so if I cry, would I be a sissy, or am I about to cry a little bit? What do I do? Or do I cry with a little bit of swagger? How do I handle this? So I like to say that growing older helped me to understand more and more what it means to be a man. And in my opinion, I think being a man is to be calm in every situation, and not panic at every given thing. You sit down and you look deeper into a problem. But it comes with time and patience and experience. And oftentimes it comes with pain as well, to learn what it really means to be a man in a much deeper way and not just on the surface. I mean, every man is strong, really. And I think that we put up the bravado because, as as Mr. John said, we're not allowed to ask for help. And I think the definition is changing, especially in Nigeria now, that look, a man can say, please, I need help. So to be a man is to have a very calm center and to understand what your role is, not just in your own life, but in your community, as a whole, and to go beyond thinking about yourself, but thinking, how can I help others around me as well, while staying calm. I keep saying staying calm because it's easy to panic in a lot of situations, but I feel that again, this is changing right now, especially in Nigeria, what a man is. But I think as I'm growing older, I'm appreciating that it's deeper than just having big muscles, being tall, and broad chest. It goes beyond that.
Nice. Nice, good. I like it. I like it. And yes, I think that's a very good way to set the pace for the conversation we have, understanding that we've been talking men, 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 men. And the topic today, like we rightly said, would be what would be, I mean, you're correct. It's not a subtopic. Yes, key topics. All right. Yes, and over to you, the energetic EJ. Do you have questions for them? Okay. I think
Okay,
while we're waiting,
I'm
okay,
hoping,
go
I'm
ahead.
guessing
We
she
can
said
hear
over.
you now.
Hear me, guys. Okay, am I back now? Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. I love, love, love the variety in the definition of what a man is. And it's just beautiful because it's very encompassing. Through all of them. Okay, I'm back. One of the threads that goes through all of them is responsibility and vulnerability, right? That's one of the things I heard in everything that all of you said. Was really boxed me. Okay, we're back. We believe that the society has boxed men into this notion of being strong all year round, like Osh completely said or correctly said. And so
this is a struggle. This is really a struggle. She's popping in and out. Cannot hear you.
what comfortable talking about. And this, so am I back?
You keep coming in and out. So maybe
so the idea, I know it's the network. I can see when I go out, but just pause like 2 seconds and I'll be back. But the question here, my next question here is based off of what we've said, is to see that I know that it's also a bit difficult to talk about some things. And these 3 topics that we just highlighted, or these 3 areas are areas that we don't usually talk about often. So our question to you is, we want to see it from your perspective as men, given the different definitions you've given. What are your thoughts around these three areas? Let's start with the obvious, the elephant in the room. I literally had, someone say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't be a part of this conversation because of this word. I don't want it to be associated with my brand." And for me, I understood it, but also it was like a concern to me. Like, okay, this is something that is part of our existence. So why do we have to run away from it to talk about it? And talk about it in a way that is wholesome. Because we found out over the years that avoiding it has actually done more harm than good. But anyways, I want to hear from you guys, because I've known you in your shoes, especially as men. What are your thoughts? What, around, let's start with sex, because that's like the biggest. Money, we can all agree with power, but this is the most uncomfortable topic. Like, ew, let's not talk about it. But we all do talk about it. We all think about it. So what are your thoughts around that from the perspective of a man?
Anyone can go for it. You can go for it.
I like the silence. I like
no silence. I didn't know who was if there was an order you wanted to go in or what. But I want to piggyback on what Ash said a little while ago when he said that in Nigeria, as well as in the US, we're brought up that boys don't cry, girls cry, and because of that, we have been conditioned. Men have been conditioned to pack away their emotions, not allowing themselves to feel. What men in general, there are exceptions, of course, the gentlemen that are here today. What men don't understand is that feeling and expressing your emotions in a healthy way is the strongest tool you will ever have in your tool belt. If you can be vulnerable in front of the woman you love, let her see you cry. Let her see you feel. It opens that vulnerability allows her to build a safety net underneath you. Men were taught to protect the women in their life. So we're building a safety net under them. I want her to know she is safe with me. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I want her to know she's safe with me. That is paramount. If she's not safe, nothing else is going to happen. Which brings us into sex. It's not about the physical act. For guys, a lot of guys, it's all about the physical act. It's not about the physical act. It's about the emotional part of intimacy. Intimacy is more important than sex. I can make love to my girlfriend without touching her because I'm looking into her eyes. I'm seeing that little girl that I was talking to you about, Grace, before we went live, looking into her eyes, seeing that little girl who just wants to be safe and protected and held and know that she is safe. If I can provide that to her, that opens up the doors for everything else. If she is safe with me, she's not going to hold back. And when you have a woman in your life, like I do now, who was broken because of a previous relationship where she was not safe, I get the opportunity here. I get the pleasure. The pleasure of giving her that safety, being that person that she needed all those years ago. You guys, listen, if you can truly, sincerely heal a broken woman, man, you own the world. She will do anything for you. You know she's got your back. If you can heal her and give her that safety net and let her give it to you as well, you guys are unstoppable. You are a power couple because you've got each other's back and there's no doubt about it. Randy? I'm throwing you under the bus, Randy. I'm bringing you in.
I totally agree to what you said, actually. And As a matter of fact, my girlfriend is sitting next to me. She's just listening and smiling ear to ear, just hearing what you're saying. I couldn't agree more. And honestly, talking about sex, especially that I'm just sitting in a public place right now, talking about it, it's not just the taboo or the elephant in the room. The idea about the intimacy versus the physical lust for men is it's not just something that we don't talk about just because we're shy or scared of each other or to be judged from people, but it's all about, it comes back to emotions, just like you said, John. And being able to express yourself and being able to be vulnerable in front of yourself before being able to be vulnerable in front of your partner is a very powerful tool. Knowing your feelings, knowing your emotions, knowing how you feel, and knowing your beliefs. You have a belief system, whatever your belief is. I'm gonna break the glass in the room. I'm not sure about the others, but I'm 30 years old and I'm a virgin. So imagine, just put this in front of you and in front of everyone else. Imagine how society and how people around me can attack me in a way indirectly, being the 30-year-old guy who didn't break that part. So having this is, it's a responsibility. It's a stressful topic to talk with people about, and at the same time, it is a pride to be able to keep your beliefs, keep your emotions exposed and clear, and at the same time, not saying that if I'm still a virgin, that means that I don't have the knowledge. On the contrary, having the knowledge and keeping it to the belief system that you have is what defines what a man is. And having the idea of understanding what sex is in reality and in its core source is a very powerful tool, as John said, because sex again is not just about the physical relationship between a woman and a man. It's more about the intimacy. It's more about the feelings. It's more about the protection. It's more about understanding the other person in front of you. It's more about accepting their vulnerability in front of you without judging, without throwing the blame, without using that vulnerability and that exposure of the other person in a very negative way. And that's what I believe in, what sex is and what it defines, the topic, the sex topic, to men and to also to other people as well.
Thank you so much. Wow, I'm learning. I mean, diverse opinions, diverse perspectives. I'm loving it, and that's the whole idea. All right, over to you, Osh.
Yes, sorry guys, I'm back. I got cut off by the network. So first of all, I love the honesty on here, and I would just say that sex to me is more than just an act, as Mr. John also said. And I'm also going to drop, I would say, an atomic bomb right now and say I haven't had sex in a very long time. There's some of my close friends that know this, and they always tell me we must get you sex now. I said, that's not how it works, you know. For me, it's just deeper than that. I always felt that whenever I did it, I felt empty and I wanted more, you know. And of course, working in show business and in entertainment, sex is right there for the taking every single day, you know. And to do it right and do it with a level of understanding, as well as, you know, understanding that it's more than just an act. You have to be intimate. You have to understand it from so many angles as well. It's something that I had to learn as a man. I mean, growing up, I've never really been someone that was, you know, having sex for fun anyway. And whenever I did it, it had to mean something to me, you know, as well. I think one of the things is, just like I just told you, if you're not having sex constantly as a man, you're considered to be, I want to say a weakling or crazy for not indulging on a weekend basis, you know, because it's what men do. And what my friend told me was it helps to relieve stress, and I just laughed and I said, "So that's it, you know?" I mean, just ask, that's then what happens after the stress is gone, you know? Maybe I'm gonna need it every other weekend, and then that's too much, you know. So I think finding the right moment as well to, to have it with the right person, really important, because, again, sex is different for men and women. You might just have sex with so person, and then she's falling in love with you, and you're thinking, yeah, it was just sex, and then now you have a problem. you know so I think for me, I had to learn quickly that, look, is much deeper than just the physical act of doing it once. It's understanding the person's mind, and if you understand someone intimately, you can even have a much deeper connection with the person if you do have sex with them. So that's what I think about this topic. Relates to what sex means to men and to me.
Okay, let's hear more. Let's hear you. Thank you, Ash.
Wow, there's a lot of confession on this live. Plenty confessions here. which, which one will I confess now? Which one will I confess now? But let me say this. I think the reason why the topic of sex has not truly been dealt with, especially for men, is because of the way we have been educated about it. For men, we are left to find out things by experience. We are left to discover things. It goes back to how we grow our ladies and our men and our men. Right from when they are young, the women always had the privilege of having a sit down with their mothers, when it came to their periods, when it came to relationship with the opposite sex. I think the female had it, better in terms of education wise. But for the men, it's like we are left to discover things for ourselves. And it's quite unfortunate that when men begin to discover things for themselves, they keep it to themselves. Nobody ever told us that sex is something that is needed. We saw it as an accursed thing. We saw it as something that when you indulge in, it robs you off of your identity. It strips you off of your conscience and your innocence. So when men begin to indulge sex, you see that there's a lot of secrecy around it. And this has, recently, I don't know if some of you have seen, some of the videos from last 2 weeks about, this popular African man and all his shenanigans. Now, when those news came out, there were a lot of people that were praising the man. Praising the man for, sleeping with other women, over 400 women. Now, is this right? No. But what we have started seeing is that men are beginning to, because of the way we discovered it, some men don't know how to manage it. And so they want to explore. See, men by nature, we are explorers. When we find something that is really good, we explore it to its depth. Nobody has given us the proper education about sex. Nobody gives us the proper education about sex. So when you talk about sex to men, we always look at it from the point of, shenanigans and what men do. But can we also start educating our men that, listen, sex is needed biologically. You need sex. It's just that we need to be able to tell our men the right way to do it. But for a man having sex, it's not. Let me tell you my story. this is about maybe 15, 17 years ago. I had this thing with a lady in the church, and they got to find out, and they suspended me from the church and suspended me from the church workers. I felt very bad because because I was quite a novice then. But in the church, one woman walked up to me. She walked up to me. She has 2 sons. You know what she told me? The woman told me, said, listen, now I trust you. I don't even know what my 2 sons are doing. That's what she said to me. She said, now I trust you. I don't even know what my 2 sons are doing. That made me feel like, you know what? You don't need to hide this thing. If there is a dysfunction with men and the meaning of sex, it's because of the way we have been educated about it. And so we need to go another route about it, because the issue of sex, men will just keep having sex and we will pervert the meaning. We will circumvent the purpose of it. And this is why men in our days don't rise up to their true potential, because we misuse what was originally supposed to be of help to us. So I mean, the concept of sex is so important. I think men, we need to talk about it more. We should not shy about it. I think education is the key to understanding sex as as it relates to men.
John wants to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to pop in for a second. I totally agree with Mo about the education for men. And I honestly think that if men are going to be educated about sex and intimacy, there should be women present during that education. We need to be able to communicate with each other openly and honestly and say the words, say the phrases, say the things that might make everybody uncomfortable, because that's where the growth will happen. When we understand that, sex to you is going to be different than sex to me. It's not just a physical act. Okay. There's more involved in there. Osh had said about sleeping around with, you had mentioned something about sleeping around with other people. I was married for 16 years, and it was for a lot of reasons. It was probably the most sexless. It just didn't happen. And when it did, it was work, and neither one of us wanted to be there because there was no intimacy. We were not connected. We didn't see each other. We didn't hear each other. We weren't listening to each other. This is why the emotional part of it, the intimate part of it, is so vitally important. And now I'm in a relationship with a woman I am head over heels in love with, crazy about. And I got to tell you, I'll own it too. Hey, we're all coming clean. The sex is off the chain. It is. I've had more sex and better sex in the past year and a half than I've had in the past 20. And that's no lie. That's no lie. It is off the chain, but it's because we're talking about everything. We talk about it just between the two of us. Why can't we have this conversation? Mo, you're right. Why can't we have this conversation outside of just our four walls? We need to educate each other. The women need to educate the men need to educate the women. We speak differently. We think differently. We communicate differently. And that's where the problem is. We don't know how to talk to each other. We know how to hear. We don't know how to listen. Big difference.
I mean, I'm learning and I'm loving the conversation. Yeah. You have something to say? Someone saying something?
Yeah, if I would just
No, I would just agree with perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. So sorry, Mr. Mo. I was gonna say that if I would conclude what Mr. John said, most men know how to have sex, but not how to make love. Because making love, there's a language there, and my goodness, I hate to say this, but yeah, he's beyond the right, and I'm just looking right now, as he was talking, I was just looking back at my life, like, did I ever really talk about it? And it just always felt like I was playing some crazy hide and seek game, getting there, turn off the lights, 1 or 2 out, thank you so much, almost like a business meeting, but there was sex involved. Why was it always like that? So I don't know if it's the same thing with the rest of the guys. I really want to find out if they've ever done it in that way as well.
Well, Grace, I want to ask you a question about this. One of the things that I've learned, because I'm 58, okay, I'm not 30, Randy. Sorry, I got a couple of years on you, buddy. I'm 58, and now that I'm in a relationship with somebody who wants to have a relationship with me and we're able to talk to each other, I learned that learning her body, learning how to touch her, just fingertips sometimes, just fingertips on the arm, just as in passing, lets her know that you are present. It's presence. How do you, just a quick kiss when you're passing each other in the hallway, some form of, hey, I'm still here with you. I'm present with you. I love you. You are mine. I am yours. Learn her, and every woman's going to have a different response. Everybody's going to want something different. Grace, if you're involved with somebody and he's listening and learning your body, who you are, not just the physical body, but the spiritual, the mental, emotional person, if he's learning you, are you present with him? If he's present with you, can you be present with him? Is there a safety there? What is it that you want men to know about sex and intimacy? What do you want men to know?
Oh, nice. I love that question, and I'm going to just throw it. I'll speak for most women. I might be wrong or might be right, but I'll speak for what I know personally is, women generally, like you said, connect emotionally first. You can be a tiger. I mean, but if you don't connect with her emotionally, she will just open up for you, do your thing, and be on your merry way, right? But once you connect with a woman emotionally, and when I mean emotionally is you knowing, like you rightly said, knowing that she's safe with you, knowing that you truly love her, knowing that, I mean, she'll go all out, whatever you want her to do. When you talk about submission and all those things, it's pretty easy when a woman is emotionally connected to you. Once she's connected to you emotionally, she'll do exactly what you want her to do. So speaking personally, a man that connects with me emotionally would get my body, and he would do whatever he wants to do with it. Please, by all means, but make sure you love me to a point where I can, almost touch it. Like I feel safe in your arms. So yes, and this topic is very important, because at the end of the day, why we're having this topic and why it is very critical. And we have mostly coaches here, and we have people that are very, very intentional in terms of what they do. And I see that we're saying the same thing, differently. But what I'm able to catch from this conversation really is sex is beyond the physical. I never knew it was like that for men. I just used to feel in my head that men just want to do it and go, But now, from what you're saying, especially how John was able to describe it, connecting with his woman and understanding her body. I mean, that alone is powerful. So I'm sure women are listening to this and they're like, yes, go, John, tell them, let them understand our bodies, let them connect with us. They're saying all that. And yeah, over to you, the energetic. We can see you. What do you have to say about this topic?
I think absolutely, coming from a woman's perspective, I think again is, I love what you said as you ended up saying that, they want them understanding our bodies. But the truth is, most of us women don't even understand our bodies. And that's why it's difficult for us to even explain it to our man, to say, this is how I want you to touch me. Why? Because even when we were being taught about this topic, right, they didn't give us in depth. The only thing we knew is it was for procreation. All along while we were growing up, the question was, if you go near a man, you will be pregnant. Don't near a boy. Don't go close to a boy. Blah, blah, blah. And then you abstain. And then when it's time, okay, you finally got the certificates to do it, marriage. You don't even know what to do. You don't know how to talk about it with your partner. You don't novice, you are a novice, so you are like and then there's also the fear, especially from where we come from. Let me go talk about myself. Like, okay, even for example, let's say you've had some experience before that relationship, say a marriage, for example, and now you are aware that, okay, I don't know, but because we didn't talk about it in depth, to talk about, okay, this is a thing. What's your take? What's your experience? What have you experienced? How are we as a couple going to go about this? It becomes is a gray area. So I don't know how much you know or how much you don't know. You don't know how much I know or how much I don't know. And so it's a guess. It's not a play like, what if I introduce this thing and it says, hey, where did you learn this thing from? right? Just all because we are not open to having this conversation. I would say personally, I had that challenge, I couldn't. Not because I had not had experiences, but even though my experiences were bad from the beginning, I'm one of the statistics, of molestation, abuse, and things like that from a young age. And so even when it got to that place, I couldn't really talk about it that much. And so I did a lot of stuff in my head, right? And so because we didn't talk about it, I believe that that also caused a lot of guesswork. Like, oh, he doesn't know. I don't know. I don't know how to react. He doesn't know how to react. And once in a while, once in a blue moon, we both get it right. Like, oh, wow, where did that come from? Right? But it was not the regular. It was the once in a blue moon thing, right? So again, I say all of this to say that as much as we are learning each other, and I love what John said, it's about us having that conversation together.
Yeah, and schedule it. Put it on the schedule.
Also, there are some things that we can. Yes, I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Just to know that there are things that we can learn from each other to help us get better at speaking about it, and also because this is it. The father has a different perspective together. How then? They've never talked about it together. How then are they supposed to talk about it to their kids? You see that the mom is afraid to talk about it with their daughters. The father is afraid to talk about it with their son. And they're down to talk about it like squarely with me. This is a conversation that we need to have and learn how to have it. It's not just about having it, but learning how to have it in a way that benefits all of us, in a way.
Okay. The network is really frustrating because I know
And
that
everybody
you
generally.
definitely
So honestly, I just want
you're
I
cutting
just
off
want to say
and
thank
off.
you to the men in the room. I know. I can see when he does that. But I want to say thank you to the men in the room for being so real and just bringing the conversation home and being vulnerable. It's like you have no idea what you guys have done here today just by being so real. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, EJ.
So
I just want to say something really quick when you
yes.
mentioned about the parents' discussions, to be very specific. I think when they were saying use protection, it wasn't just about the physical protection. I think it was more about emotional, mental protection to each other. So it's not just about the physical use protection, but it's actually about understanding, listening, knowing about the other person's feelings, emotions, and mental health. And also, just like what John and Grace said, it's about knowing where are their ticks, what moves them, what makes them actually passionate and intimate about what we're doing, because it's not it's not just a puzzle that you're putting two pieces together and that's it. It's more than the physical and the moves, and it's not just like steps. It's not a guideline. It's actually something that keeps flowing, just like John started the conversation with the flow between the couple. This is very important.
Absolutely. And if not for anything, you heard it on Your Voice, Your Impact. Talk about sex. Talk about sex. Talk about sex. That way we can help ourselves learn and grow. Yeah, so over to something else. Money, money, money. Woo! It's a funny.
Funny in a
Money,
rich
money,
man's
money.
world.
Yes, let's talk money. All right. I'm just going to let EJ, I'm going to let you ask the first question about money, around money. So
Okay.
go for it.
Let me jump on it before the network kicks me out again. Money is another conversation that we did not learn how to talk about. And there's this general notion that My money is my money as a woman. Your money as a man is our money when it comes to relationship, right? And there's just a general notion like, men are the providers and all of that, but that has changed over time, right? And one of the things that I've noticed is that men, I don't know, let me not say, but I've noticed this, so let me just say it that way, that men sort of tie their worth or their identity to how much money they have. And so when it's not there, it's almost like they're stripped naked. What are your thoughts around that relationship that men have with money? Is that your experience? Is that how you see money, or what would you say to that? Anybody can go for it first.
Being the sorry, just being the income diversification specialist, I'm just gonna jump in because of what I do, helping people diversify their income sources and knowing how to make multiple sources of income at the same time next to their jobs or careers or businesses and things like that. Helping people to understand more about the financial literacy. When it comes to, as you mentioned, the partners splitting up the money, or my money is my money, sorry, her money is her money, my money is our money. When it comes to that part specifically, I've heard a lot of people talking, a lot of special experienced people in financials always talking about the multiple accounts in the relationship, about your savings account, her savings account, and then the joint account that pays the bills and pays everything, and everyone has their own account and all these things. But at the same time, I believe that our relationship individually with money is very, very, very important. I was in a coaching session a couple of weeks ago with a community of women in Align in UAE, and we were talking about how can you define your relationship with money? How can you visualize it? What is your relationship with money? And I told them, for me personally, my relationship with money is that I see money as butterflies. If you look at money as a butterfly, if you're chasing a butterfly, it will run away from you. But if you're sitting in your place and you're planting seeds to grow a garden, you're gonna attract butterflies on your own. Butterflies will come to you, not run away from you. And this is what I personally believe about money. Your relationship with money is not that you keep chasing it, because being in Dubai, the quickest and the most expensive and the most exhausting hustling lifestyle of entrepreneurs and content creators and business people all over UAE, it's not about chasing money. It's about planting the right garden around you of mindset, of skill set, of relationships, of networking, of understanding what is money, how it comes, the money cycle of your life, how it's running. And that automatically will bring money, because money is not the reason, money is not the goal, money is a tool to achieve your goal. That's my personal belief.
Growing up, I struggled a lot with an identity around money. I was always taught that it's very hard to make money. It's very hard to keep money. And I see some of these people that when I was younger that just were rolling in money. And I'm like, I'm smarter than they are. How come I can't make that kind of money? And this is what went through my head. And for decades, I struggled with an identity around, I had a bad identity around money, that it was for other people and I was going to have to struggle my whole life because my parents struggled and it was a generational thing and I wasn't going to be able to break it. And that was all bullshit. It was all bull in my belief system. BS can stand for two things, right? It can stand for bullshit and it can stand for belief system. And there's a lot of people with a lot of bullshit in their belief system. So we got to change that. So over time, I started to realize that I was going at it backwards. Like Randy just said, I was chasing money instead of letting money chase me. Now money's chasing me. It's a different ball game. And it's gotten so much easier because I'm not fighting it. I'm not resisting it. I'm allowing it to flow. And something I didn't know how to do for so many years. I flow now, you know, and Randy, you had mentioned the 3 accounts, right? I've got, and this is true for me as well. I've got my account. She's got her account, and we have our account. And it's not that we're keeping things separate, because if she needs something, it's in my account, I'll give it to her. Same thing, you know, the other way too. The reason for the separate accounts is, God forbid something should happen. She has money that she can get to and take care of while everything's working out. And I have money that I can get to and take care of me while things are, you know, until all the dust settles, or God forbid something should happen. So that's the purpose of the account. It's not to separate our money. It's to keep us in a place where I got this. No matter what happens, I got this. And it's an attitude. It's an attitude. It's a belief system. It's an identity around money too. It's an identity around, do I want to struggle because this is what I've been doing? Or do I want to make it? Do I want to allow it to come to me? You're choosing. So now think about this for a second. This does relate to money. It relates to sex. It relates to power. The 4 steps in the decision-making process. The first one is I have to do this. And it comes from a place of lack. I don't have the money. I don't have the power. I don't have the relationship. I have to have it. From there, you go to I get to. And I get to is when you're really kind of talking yourself into it. You're not really sure you're buying it, but you're trying. From there, you go to I want to. Now you've got a little bit of a belief system around this. Something's starting to change within you. You've got a little bit of momentum, and I want to. You're starting to say, you know, maybe this can happen. Nothing's going to happen until you get to the 4th stage, which is I choose to. Once you choose to do something, now you've made a decision. This is where the action happens, and everything before that, you're just playing with yourself. Really. I mean, think about it. You really are. When you choose, that's when it happens. So I've chosen to allow money to flow to me instead of me going chasing it. I've chosen to change my beliefs around money. It's not hard to make money. There's more than enough money to go around for everybody on this planet. We've been conditioned to believe we're not entitled to it. We don't deserve it. We're not worthy of it. We've bought that identity because it's been drilled into our head, and it's complete, total bullshit. So let's change that. There's education around there too.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, Mo, you're muted. We can't hear you. Mo, you can unmute yourself so we can hear you.
I think it's your mic, Mo. Maybe something in the mic.
Yeah, Mo, we can't hear you. Are you plugged in with your AirPods? We can't hear you, Mo. You're unmuted, actually, but we can't hear you.
Wow.
Now we can. Now we can.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, yes. So you can hear me. Okay, that's fine. I was just going to add a few things to what John has said. And it also goes back to our fundamental education system about money. A lot of us men, we were taught to make money. The narrative about money was that you had to make it. But it was not ingrained in us that we can also attract money. And you see, these 2 distinct and different views or narrative, you know, got some men struggling. So while you see some men have mastered the art of, you know, attracting money, some men are also trying to pursue money to make money. And basically, I mean, going back to what John said, is it has to do with your identity system. When you believe that you have to make money, then you condition your mind to any endeavor that commits you to hustle and efforts and, you know, all the hard work. But then there is another belief system you can put in place that, you know, strengthens your identity. And then you are just so confident about who you are that money just flows to you. Because, you know, fundamentally, men, we have been taught, and it has been ingrained in us, that we are providers. And so this belief system that we are that we are providers pushes us to look for money, because now we need to validate that provider that has been placed on us. We need to validate that label on us. And the only way to validate that label is to have money. And so women don't really have that problem, because they didn't give them that label. We were the ones that they gave that label to. So we need to validate that label. But we are going about it the wrong way. So you see men doing all kinds of things to make money. But the truth about it is that as we grow older, I mean, we need to find a way that men can, attract money by simply understanding what money is. A lot of men, we don't understand what money is. Listen, the average man, when he has money, what he wants to do is to go and conquer women. When the average man, I mean, a man that is low in knowledge, once he has money, the first thing he does is to try to appease himself for all the things he has been deprived of. So he spends money on women, on cars, because he doesn't understand what money is. Again, we need to go back to our education system. Men need to sit down and re-educate ourselves that money is not a revenge tool. Some of us, money to us is a revenge tool, to revenge about the poverty we suffered, all the women that said no to us, all the things we couldn't have. And so you see, even money begins to destroy us as men. But when we find out who we are, we understand what money is, you will see that the people who have used money right, you can see that they have a different school of thought about money. And then money serves a purpose. Money is supposed to serve a purpose. We are not supposed to serve money. Money is supposed to serve a purpose. And so by the time we get education right, confidence right, identity right, men will begin to use money right.
I absolutely love this one. I mean, I'm just listening to you guys and I'm blown away, right? Oh, I was just waiting for Osh, and Osh is not here. Oh, I really would love to hear his perspective. I'm just touching on all what you have said. I think that's a similar, I mean, things have changed. When Mo mentioned that responsibility on women is not as, I agree with that. Men are labeled providers, and it is more like a duty for them to always have money. And if there is no money, it's somehow, when EJ asks that question around identity, does it, I mean, there are days where there's no money, not because there's no physical cash, but there's no, it's more into investments and all of that. So you may not have money as it is. When she asked that question and she said that, does it tie to who you are as a man? Can you call yourself a man because you have money? Is that it? Or it's a different ball game? Even if you don't have it, you still know who you are. Your identity continues to stand tall regardless of your financial status. Is that what I want us to touch a bit on that. Does your financial status, does it define who you are? Is that your identity really? We've talked about understanding the relationship around money, but this particular question is still there lingering somewhere. Okay, let's just hear from Ash, and if there's anyone that can just take that part, it would be great.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, all right. So sorry, I got caught up in by the internet. So I'm not going to say anything too long, but there's a saying in Nigeria that goes, I'm going to try to translate it in pidgin English: fine boy, na monkey. So what that means is, even if you're super handsome, really handsome, I mean, Mr. Mo is a handsome man, you guys are handsome men, and you have no money, you're ugly. So basically, yes, that's the and Mr. John talks about belief systems. Nothing enforces the belief system like a slogan, and they jam these things in your brain. Yes, you're pretty, you've got six packs, wonderful. What else? Open your wallet. In fact, there are a lot of songs in Nigeria, Afrobeat songs, that talks about the size of your wallet being the leading factor. In fact, if you listen to Afrobeat closely, because Mr. Mo spoke about education, music educates the mind more than a book sometimes. and it teaches people to believe in certain things. So in Afrobeat songs, they talk about spending money on girls. Once, in fact, the second the song starts, it's all about spending money, spending money, spending money, spending money, and then it's followed by I'm spending all this money because I love you.
Mm.
So what does that say? If you keep listening to those songs over and over again, it will teach you that, yeah, to be a man and to be relevant, I need to make this money. Anyhow, even if it's legal or illegal, I'm sure you probably know that in Nigeria there's a high case of fraud, as they call it in the world, 419. A lot of younger boys today want to drive a Benz, Lamborghini, I mean all kinds of expensive cars that they didn't really earn, because they want to make the money to be seen as the top dog. you know in clubs here in Nigeria, if you see a lot of young boys spending a lot of money, and there's also a lot of women there. I mean, I work in these places, and you start wondering, is that all it takes to get the attention when you have a lot of money? And you have nothing else. As long as you have money, you're relevant. So again, I think we need to look into what's teaching us these things, especially our younger men, through the media, through the music videos, through the songs we listen to, and the hidden messages that, as Mr. John said, would enforces this BS and makes us believe that this is how we should do it. And another thing I like to say is, we're taught to make money, but not to invest money. you know we often just, so how do I make money work for me? And it's so terrible that even when I see a good business opportunity to invest, I am more scared than curious. I'm thinking, what if the money goes away? And it's still part of that, fear in your heart, that if I invest, what if it doesn't work out, and I might lose all my money? But as also Mr. Randy said, we need to invest and plant seeds. And I also like to end by saying this. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go with people.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. Well, it just occurred to me that we've really gone far. This was supposed to last for an hour, but I mean, we're way into this, and it's interesting because I'm very sure this is going to really help people. If you're watching this right now, I'm sure you're getting something. Osh, we cannot hear you. I would love to hear the last part, what you have to say, so that we can tie that.
Yeah, I
The
think
money.
it's
Actually,
still
not the rest of the saying
yeah,
that he was saying.
He was about to tell us a proverb.
a proverb, yeah, from South Africa, but I think he's still
Mm.
frozen at the moment. Oh yeah, he's frozen at the moment. He would be back shortly, but okay, he's back. He's back. Let's just let him. Yeah, tell us this proverb.
Yes, so there's African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go with people. Right? And I cannot say this enough. Mr. John, I have to reveal my age now. I just turned 40. And I'm telling you, I believe there's something that age would teach you that nothing else will. You would learn to work with people more, you know, and they can show you the things that you would have taken so much effort to do without taking that much effort to do it. And then if you do that, it's easier to keep making money, because the sources of making the money will always be there. As an event host, I get a lot of jobs because I increase my network. And I was like, well, how come nobody told me this earlier? You know, so yeah, so here we are. You know, so yeah, so for me, I think it's about increasing your network, and also changing belief system in your. And I really think we need to go into looking at what makes us think this way. I'm talking especially in Nigeria. A lot of the Afrobeat videos and songs talks about. In fact, there's a song by P Square and Akon called "Chop My Money," which means eat my money. Period. If you love me, you don't love me, just have my money and that's it. So which is really not right. So I think if we can look at all these things together, it can help us build a different generation where they can see money as a tool to do something positive, rather than making money to go look for girls, and and spend, because that kind of money, you can never have enough of it. It doesn't matter if you get 2.5 billion dollars right now. I promise you, in one night at a club, it would not be enough. you know so yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
I mean,
Actually,
I think it's a
continuing
good.
what
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on, Randy.
I just wanted to say that continuing what you were saying about the network, one of my favorite quotes in business, it's that your network is your net worth. And
Mm.
everyone, especially people based in UAE, know about that. UAE is community based. Everything in Dubai is community based. If you don't have a community, if you're not social, if you're not networking with new people on a weekly basis, you do not have business. You do not have business in the country. This is something that is very important, because going back to the point that John was talking about is that knowing your identity and what money like is to you, and knowing what you are to money as well, is very important for you to understand how to invest, how to create business, how to attract that money, how to talk with people about money. It's all connected together under the same thing of how do you look at money. What is money to you? Because a lot of people, when Mo and Osh were talking about the bling life, the people who are wearing expensive watches and riding expensive cars just to attract girls or create fame, they're looking at money as power, as position, as a need, as something that will help them. It's a bait to attract girls to their side. It's not. This is not what money is. Money is a tool, but what is this tool helpful for you specifically, and how are you using that tool for other people or for yourself? When you start getting deeper in financial literacy, you start seeing the more people, the higher their net worth is, the more humble they get, the less they wear posh, and the less they wear brands, and the less they ride expensive cars. Look at all the billionaires and the entrepreneurs around the world. There is one of the fashion ideas that is out there. It's about, for example, look at Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and all these people. They're always wearing the same T-shirt and the same pants, right? They do have, they're from this T-shirt and this pants like 10 or 12. They only wear these. Just, it's not about saving. It is some kind of a posture. It's some kind of a position. It's like, I don't wear my money. My money is not my net worth. Actually, my money is not in how much I have in my bank account, and not in how much I have cash in my wallet. It's actually how much assets I own. It's not about the liquidity of money. It's about how I'm using that money to either increase my net worth or help others, and so on. And I think Mo was talking about how we invest our money in what we learn and what we do. A lot of people are afraid to invest their money and pay the money in education. And yeah, the education system is completely different. I can talk hours and hours about the actual academic educational system worldwide, and the financial education system that is actually starting to grow right now. People learning about the financial markets, people learning about doing online business, how to make millions and millions of dollars online from their home, and all these things. When you start getting into this and you start talking to people about, listen, you can invest $500 and you can start making money online, they're like, oh no, I'm gonna lose that $500. I'm like, you just bought the new iPhone for $1,000, and you were just buying the iPhone last year. Officially, the iPhone actually can last for 4 to 5 years, and you're still spending $1,500 every single year just to get the new model. These things are not easily taught in schools. They're actually taught through the school of life every single day.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
we can
it's
go
one of,
on, we can go on. And I think we're going to wrap up with this. And it's going to be one question, for you have, like, you're going to wrap it all up. We've talked about sex, we've talked about money, and power is the last thing on our list. And we'll just wrap it up very quickly, sweet and short, so that we can go because we can be here all day. All right, so I'm going to start with Mo. And the question is, in all of this, what defines power? Who is a man when it comes to power? How do you tie power and man? What do you have to say to summarize all the things that we've talked about? What makes him powerful, more like?
All right, power. You know, I've been thinking about what to say about power, but I think power is something that we give from the inside. Everybody has power. Internally, we are being created as powerful beings, right? And so, as a man, the fundamental thing that should define you is that you are powerful. And what I would say is power is your ability to choose, your ability to make right decisions. That is your fundamental power. Choice is power. And when men make wrong decisions, they are misusing their power. They are underutilizing their power. So power is the ability to choose. And I just think that for a man to truly stand out and make an impact in this world, beyond any other thing, is that when a man chooses right and make the right decisions, his life will definitely reflect, the greatness of God. And of course, he will be able to fulfill his purpose. So power is internal, and power is the ability to choose. That's what I'm saying.
Love it, love it, love it. Ash, what do you have to say? Short and sweet.
Okay, so I just want to say quickly that what Mr. Mo says is really true. When I was younger, I used to think that when I got older, I would have the freedom to do whatever I wanted. I would drink every drink, be in every bar, everything, day and night. Everybody would know my last name. And that's when I was a boy. And after I became a man, I can tell you that I drink maybe once in a while, if any, even if I have the money to do it. So indeed, I think choice is at the center of being a man, and also the confidence to be the man that you can be. Because the second you decide to be a man in your true glory, you're gonna have a lot of opposition. Trust me, because you're going to scare a lot of people, and you have to stand on your 10 toes and say, this is what I'm doing and this is my decision. And also for me, I'll end by saying, let your word be your word. As a man, I believe whatever you say should go. Don't say yes and say no and say maybe. Yes is yes, no is no. And be accountable for what you say, and be vulnerable enough to apologize when you make a mistake. In Nigeria, we say men are not wrong, we are strong, I don't care. No. If you can say, I'm sorry, your life will change drastically, because it means you're not holding it in your heart all the time. So I would end with that. Thank you.
Oh God, this is so powerful. Thank you. Over to you, John. What do you have to say?
Well, power is about responding versus reacting. It's about slow down, make an educated decision, pull yourself out of the emotion in the moment. Oh God, I want to go buy this. Yeah, I would love to buy it too. But you know what? The money might serve me better down the road. Do I really need this, or is it just a want? Okay, there's plenty of things that I want. I don't really need them. I need the relationship, okay? Because you got a good woman behind you. Men, if you have a good woman behind you and she's got your back, she will take you to a level of manhood you will never attain on your own. And that is the God's honest truth, okay? Money, think frequency. Think frequency here. Everything is energy. And I spent too many years of my life not respecting the frequency that money was on. So money did not respect the frequency that I was on. And we never met up. We're always miles apart. We're getting closer. It's happening. It's in process. Power is about enjoying the process, celebrating the fact that it is happening. It is in process. It's not the destination, it's the journey. It's who you get to become in order to have the things that you want. You learn how to control you, how to influence you, you got all the power in the world, man, because nobody can rock your boat.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so
I'll,
much. Randy, over
I'll,
to
um,
you.
I'll, I'll do the KISS thing. Keep it simple and short. So, power for me is more about it goes eventually to how much impact you're creating. But power comes from freedom. Freedom, freedom of time, freedom of place, freedom of decision, like the other gentleman said. But the freedom comes from responsibility. It doesn't come from how much free and how much I do, however much I want. It's taking responsibility, taking accountability of what I'm doing, right or wrong, and believing to accept the consequences of what I'm doing, whether they're good or bad. That's the responsibility, and the responsibility also is coming from how much impact I'm creating in people's lives. I believe that you're more powerful by the amount of people that you're creating impact in their life. However much you're creating the impact, whether it's emotional impact, mental impact, financial impact, educational impact, mindset, every type of impact you're creating, the more you're impacting people, the more powerful you are. You can impact millions of people in a negative way, and yet you're still powerful, but in a negative way. You can impact millions of people. You can impact one person in a positive way, and in their world, you are the most powerful human being in their circle. And that's the definition of power for me. It's creating the impact for people around you.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This has been amazing. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And I mean, I don't know what to say. We got the best of the best, like I said
Oh
earlier.
my
And
God.
indeed, your voice is indeed your impact. And all of you, John, Randy, Ash, and Mo, has just created impact for the world to see. Thank you so much for coming. I have learned a lot. And I mean, I'm short of words. I'm just going to let EJ take it away from here.
Honestly, I am overjoyed. And regardless of the network issues, you guys just, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for sharing so powerfully and so sincerely from your heart. I do not take it for granted. I appreciate each one of you. I hope we can have you again on the show. One after the other, because like you guys are balling. You guys are it. And I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for bringing your A game. I don't even know what to say, but we've spent all the time here today. But honestly, we're coming back. We're knocking on your doors, each one of you, because we want to hear more from you, and that's going to be in 2025. Let's bring it on. First month, let's help people reset their brains and their minds and cut out the BS, because we can't be going to 2025 with any negative BS. We want the right one, the right belief systems, and getting out all the things that doesn't serve us anymore. And I love the different angle that you guys come from, and the different even in the way that you show up in the world. So you have value to give to us, and would love to host you one after the other. So please, when we knock on the door, please open up. Don't say no. All right, we're just gonna agree on the dates, and that's it. God bless you. Thank you so much. Like, I am overjoyed. This was worth it, even though I had to be on the road to do this. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. I hope that you've gotten a lot of value. In fact, I don't hope, I know you have gotten a lot of value. So if you missed out on any part, go and watch the replay. I know there are a little bit of hitches with the network, but there is so much value in this episode that you need to watch and listen again. And please do share with your friends and family. Remember, we are on a journey to so we're on a journey to hitting 10K subscribers by next year when we turn 2 in June. family and help them subscribe to the YouTuber. This is officially saying Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to all of you, and we'll see you in December. Thank you so much. November has been great and it's been a fantastic one. All right, good.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. See you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for having me.
everyone. It's good to see you.